Raymar Brunson, how you doing, man?
Doing good, man. How you
Good,
doing?
man. Yeah, I'm doing really good. So for these what do I even call them? Comic book gene pool episodes. I have cartoonists come on and we talk about something that kind of like inspired them along the way, whether it's something that got them into comics in the first place, or just like inspired them to want to do this, or to made them think differently about comics. And you picked "Do a Powerbomb" by Daniel Warren Johnson, with
Yep.
Mike Spicer on colors. What made you want to pick this one?
It was basically about 2 years ago now when I decided to do comics. That was like the first thing I read right after I made that decision, and it just, on top of it being a great book, it was just really inspiring. Like, oh, this is what you can do with a story in comics. And I grew up watching wrestling, but I kind of had no interest in the wrestling comic at all.
Yeah.
And I love him as an artist, so I was like, let me just get this a chance, and it blew me away. So.
So 2 years ago, that's when you decided you wanted to start doing comics. You didn't do any comics before that, or were you just dabbling, or?
Um, some stuff for fun. I've been drawing my entire life, and I went to a visual and performing arts high school. And I was an art major.
Mhm.
So drew all the time from that. Had some training from that, and I would draw comics here and there. I think at one point I wanted to do covers, but then I kind of transitioned from that to doing filmmaking for like years. Um,
Oh,
so yeah, just recently, yeah, decided I wanted to, take comics more seriously.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this is probably, I could be wrong, but this might be the most modern comic that anybody's picked, and I was like super interested to take a look at it because we don't get, when I do these episodes, it's not like super often that I get to actually you know like look at modern comics, and there's so
Yeah.
much good stuff out right now. So let me just get the camera up with it. There it is. Thought I already had it, but guess not. Um, we'll zoom through the story, okay? Because
Mhm.
the story's awesome. But I
Yeah.
think that really what we want to kind of focus on is the art, because it's Daniel Warren Johnson. Like, you're going to focus on the art, right?
Yeah.
Is that what kind of attracted you
Yeah.
to his stuff?
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, it's crazy. So the story goes that you got this. It opens up. It's just obviously a wrestling story. You've got Cobra Sun versus Steel Rose here,
Hmm.
and she is the champion. She's got the belt and everything. And we're introduced. She has a daughter. You
Yeah.
know, um, and this is the kid's uncle is introduced, and she enters the ring, and everybody's cheering, and very, very exciting. And then here comes Cobra Sun, who is like the heel, right, of the
Yep.
wrestling heel of the thing. Uh, and they uh, go to do this match. He like pile drives her basically, and or something like some sort of move here, slips,
Yeah.
and then like basically breaks her neck, I think.
Yeah.
It's a total accident, so the kid is like freaking out. You're introduced to this character here who's like
That panel was so
watching
good.
it on a TV or something, right?
Yeah.
Or on a
That panel.
monitor.
I love that panel.
Yeah, it's so good. uh and then we find out that she doesn't make it, and then they jump 10 years later, and it's pretty clear that this little girl has grown up to be also become a wrestler. So here
Yeah.
she is, getting her ass whooped. you know uh and her uncle is here, and kind of is, I think, if I remember correctly, like, he doesn't really want her to wrestle,
Yeah.
um because doesn't want the same thing to happen that happened to her mom.
Hmm.
And then all of a sudden, this dude that we saw earlier shows up and is like, listen, you come and wrestle in my match in hell, or wherever it is, and I will I'll grant you, I'll bring your mom back.
Right.
But you gotta win. You gotta win the belt back. And I think that like, have you read any of like Daniel's other stuff?
Yeah, I have read Wonder Woman, Beta Ray Bill, what else? The Star Wars, the Darth Vader story he did.
Hmm.
Pretty much everything. I think the only thing I haven't gotten to yet was Murder Falcon, and I don't know why I just haven't gotten it yet.
Yeah. Yeah, all of it you can tell is like stuff that he's like, I want to draw this. Like he's like a,
Yeah.
guitar player. So he's like, I'm gonna do this like metal Murder Falcon thing. Or he's like, I love wrestling. I'm gonna do wrestling. It's like
Hmm.
and I think that, one of the things that really comes across when he does a book, in my opinion, is that he's making something that he's excited about and he wants to read.
Yeah.
But then he's got this other thing where he's got this like hook. He's always got this hook that pulls at your heartstrings, some big gushy moment in it. And then that's just when, and it usually the hook either comes at the end of the first issue or, a couple of issues in, and, it's like he sets the bait and then, pulls the hook into you and he's got you. And
Yeah.
I think that he consistently does that. And besides his obviously amazing art, I think that that's what he does as a creator, as a writer too.
Hmm.
And then he like partners up with Mike Spicer for every one of his books. I don't know that I've ever seen him colored by anybody else.
Yeah, I don't know.
If it was, it would have been like, God, what's that one he did about with Donnie Cates about trucking? I
Oh,
don't remember.
Ghost Fleet.
Yeah, yeah. Like, and I'm
Yeah.
not sure who colored him on that.
Yeah, I'm not
It could
sure.
it could have been Spicer then too. But Spicer is a really like complements his art so well, you
Yeah.
know. Um it, weirdly he's so, I think he's like so kinetic. He moves, his art moves so fast that
Hmm.
the the addition of color actually like tames it and tones it down and helps bring focus onto things. And I'll
Yeah.
show you how what I mean by that, because look, like these pages are obviously really great. You can look at them, you can tell what's going on, everything's great. um it's leading your eye, on all these pages. But if you, I don't know if you still can, but every once in a while I'll go onto the French Amazon and there's this publisher called Urban Comics,
Yeah.
and they will put out. Do you have this too?
Yeah. Yeah. I got it right here.
You do, yeah. So yeah, it's awesome. They put out these versions of the books. They're in French, so you can't read them. But if the artist is doing their job, then it doesn't matter. You
Right.
can
Yeah.
tell what's going on. But it has all the color removed. So this is what the book looks like. It's not an artist edition. So you're not going to see the the whiteout and stuff,
Right. Yeah.
or the pencil marks and stuff. But what you will see is like, and it's lettered too. So like
Yeah.
artist editions usually aren't. But what you will see is just his like raw marking. And I don't know about you, but like when I first saw his work, it was sort of a bit of a revelation, because there's other artists that have like a lot of energy behind it,
Hmm.
but then they're also very like meticulous about their line work and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
he credits James Heron all the time with like, I wouldn't be doing this without James. And you can
Right.
see a lot of James in it, right? Because James pulls from manga and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then like you can see a lot of the manga influence in his stuff. But I think that just the fact that he like draws this at such a breakneck pace
Hmm.
also adds to like this energy to it. And then
And
when you look at like the black and white work, a lot of times it can be like really rough to look at. And that's why I say that like Spicer kind of pulls the focus in on some of the stuff. And I think that's by
Yeah.
design, honestly.
The thing,
But
I mean, when you watch him draw, he just makes it look so easy, and like it just like I don't know, like I watch him draw on the stream, and it's just like, oh yeah, of course you would do it that way. And then, but then when
yeah,
it's time for me to draw, I sit down and I try to do it, and my brain like forgets everything I've learned from him.
right,
But
right.
man, so good.
Um, yeah, I mean, I love like stuff like obviously he used like some whiteout and stuff for the in the like blacked out the cape here and then put some whiteout in it, you know, and did stuff like that. And then you got like this marking here that's probably a marker, and you can tell that it dried up a bit, you know, and it just added some like texture to it.
Mm-hmm.
But then like even just the even the ceiling is showing energy, like
Yeah.
the you know the messed up like brushwork.
Mm-hmm.
And then he'll go and add these like I think he does this actually on the paper, but he'll add these screen tones. Do you
Yeah.
ever do that? Do you ever put screen tones on your stuff?
I did it. I did it in Ghost Man, I think, in a couple
Yeah.
panels, in a few pages. Um, but yeah, I haven't done it recently. But uh, shit's expensive, so
It is. I whenever I'll do it for commissions, but for the actual pages, I just like made high res scans of all the tones that I ever come across, and then I'll just
Mhm.
put them in digitally because you can't
Yeah,
tell the difference, you know, when it's
yeah,
printed. So
yeah. I definitely use it on commissions for sure, but yeah, not too much on pages.
yeah, look how crazy this is, and I love like even his automatopoeia and stuff when he does this, like these sound effects. This really got me. This really got me. I think that I focused on doing more sound effects in my own work after seeing his work too,
Yeah,
because he showed you that, you know, it can be kind of not always, but sometimes slap like this is kind of slapdash, you know? He's
yeah,
just like like just in his like own handwriting, but it works, you know, because it is a sound effect and it
right.
gives it this like emotion behind it,
Hmm.
which is, you know, important for sound effects. Like digital sound effects laid over art doesn't work for me
Yeah,
half the time. It's because it doesn't look like it's part of the artwork unless it's somebody doing super clean, super digital stuff,
yeah,
which
yeah,
again doesn't appeal to me. So I don't really,
yeah. Definitely
I
ever
don't
since.
like blow it off, but
Yeah, definitely ever since I started reading his stuff. Yeah, like the digital sound effects. It's been pretty like not distracting, but it's not the same.
yeah. It especially drives me crazy when there's both, like when an artist will put the sound effects, but then, you know, later on in the process, the editor or somebody will decide, oh, there should be a sound effect here. And then they go and put it on digitally and it's on the same page. Oh, it just takes me right out.
Not good.
Um, this with this lightning. So like you can see what this page looked like black and white versus, you know, how he pulled it in with the color and
Yeah,
like really, really pulled it together, you know?
yeah.
It's
Yeah,
crazy to see.
they're like the best duo, man. It's crazy.
Yeah. I'm wondering how he did the I wonder how he did the sound effects here because it almost does look like a brush was used
Hmm.
and then he traced around it.
Yeah, I mean,
So
I know he uses the transparency paper. Maybe like I don't know. Maybe he used that. You know. Um,
maybe. Or maybe he did it with did it with the black brush and then went in with whiteout and
yeah.
filled it in so that there was like a line around it. It's a good
Hmm.
question. Maybe one day I can try to coax him to get in on the on this show, and and take a look. Actually, you know, it's really funny. We're talking about that, and look at this panel in the back. This is obviously
Yeah.
like just a shot, like a photo of it, because you can see, ah, man, knocking stuff over. You can see where it's just white out here and how messy
Yep.
it is. That's awesome.
So good.
Yeah, and even here, there's like in this version there you can see that there's like screen tones in the words and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like look, just so much energy to this stuff. But you know, if this was going to be released as a black and white comic, I bet you anything that he would have made a ton of other decisions to rein in the focus of it.
Yeah.
But you know, this is kind of like a lesson in I think somebody who, like, clearly he's worked with his colorist for a while and knows what his colorist is going to go in and do, and like how to what to leave for the colorist to do, and then you know how to space things out. You know, to he's still you know leading the eye and telling the story, but like all of the stuff that would normally draw your eye away, he knows his colorist well enough that he's gonna come in and help direct that stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like they're like a real true tight team. It's pretty cool to see.
Yeah. So seeing
This
that's
this is interesting, isn't it?
I love that.
Uh, so it's like screen tone that he put over it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then cut around it, and then took probably the side of the blade and cut out, you know, like scratched off some of the the dots,
Yep.
and it like made this wiggle effect, which is super interesting. I don't know that I've ever seen that anywhere else.
Yeah. I don't think I have either.
And I know that he started sort of like doing like super quick commissions there for a while,
Yeah.
where he was just sort of like slapping a piece of screen tone on top of it and not really cutting it out all the way, and like doing some like stuff that some kind of goofy looking stuff.
Mm.
And I think that just through playing around like that, he must have like picked this up.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the lighting on this is crazy.
Man, I wouldn't even know how it
How
would
to
just,
do the lighting for that?
yeah.
Yeah.
A lot to think about.
Yeah. Yeah, you would do some Google searches of uplighting. You know, you can do it.
Mhm.
But to add those like brush strokes is just, and to add the texture and everything to it is, you know, it's what makes him him. And I love how he also does like the crowds and stuff on this stuff. Is just, you know, there's these little tiny drawings and stuff, but when you get to the big crowds, you know, it's just
Yeah.
black because it's, you know, here because it's covered in stuff, and then like into the white, and it's just splotchy. It's a great way to handle crowds, because crowds are
Yeah. I've had to do a few recently, and it's been a challenge for sure.
yeah, you got to learn tricks. That's for
Yeah.
sure. So he's just a master of the fisheye lens too, you know.
Hmm.
Like a long lens, I guess it would be, right?
Yeah.
You're a film guy, you would know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like you have a lens that's made for like a distance shot, and then if you pull it up, you know, closer, it's going to do this warping fisheye thing.
Right. Yeah.
um
Man, just the amount of detail, like just filling up that space just to, you know, get a sense of like what the daughter is like what she's really into, and just putting Easter eggs and stuff in there, man. It's just so much.
yeah, there's so many. And then I think if you go and look at the actual page, you know, a lot of that stuff gets, the focus gets pulled to them in the bed, so unless you're really looking, you kind of miss that, a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
But that's okay. because they're supposed to be the focus, but then when you look at the black and white art, and or if you were to like really examine it, yeah, there's like so many like crazy little things, like this toy cabinet. It's probably like actually his toy cabinet, because I see like robots in there.
Yeah.
Murder Falcon poster. Yeah, it's all these Steel Rose posters and stuff. It's so cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then the handling of like the stars on the ceiling and stuff. So good.
Yeah.
And then here again.
Love that.
Yeah,
I basically kind of did not as nowhere near as good, but basically kind of did my own version of that in Ghostman, on the first page. But
oh yeah,
we'll talk about it.
yeah. This episode will come out after, but so people can go back and look at the Ghostman episode to see that. He's really good at framing too, like this panel here. Sticking something in the foreground to frame the focus of it.
Yeah, I've been looking at really all of his work recently while I've been working on some projects, and obviously composition is important, but just making every panel just look cool,
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited to see that Extremity Artist Edition that's going to be coming out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and this is a great shot too of her, walking down the alley, just like adding grit, and stuff around. You don't have to exactly know what the stuff is that's laying over in the corner behind the trash can. You don't have to draw it all out.
Mm-hmm.
It's more emotion and feeling, because you're not supposed to be like, your eye's not supposed to be attracted to that. You're not supposed to sit here and look for every little tiny thing. You're supposed to be paying attention to her, which is why it's all stark white here, and she's in the middle of it.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah. I don't remember. So I wouldn't say that we're like friends or anything, but we're, we know each other, and we talk at cons and stuff when we are, at the bar con and stuff, hanging out.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if he was telling me there or if I heard it somewhere else, but he was talking about, we were talking about chisel pens, and I was using some, and he had just gotten a hold of some, and that's what he kind of used on these cracks and stuff at the bottom of the page. And I've found him pretty useful for a lot of stuff. But then I was watching a episode of his Friday drawing show, and he uses it a lot now.
Yeah.
Have you ever used those particular chisel pens before?
Yeah, I have them. I have the exact ones that he has. For me, they're good. They just dry out, like
they dry out so fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how he maintains. He must have just like a bucket load of them.
Yeah, maybe.
But this is a really great example of him using like positive and negative and dark and light stuff, like to its advantage. Of like, you got the focus here, the stairs are coming here, the crack is coming, drawing you either to the focus, which is them, or the other focus of the other page, which is up. And then, you got the shadow on either side of this, really heavy blacks, pulling you that way.
Yeah.
And I love how he's playing with the clouds here,
Yeah, those are really good.
He does varying different ways of doing clouds all the time. And I don't know if I ever saw him do it with like a thin line like this again, but maybe I'm wrong. I'm always paying attention to stuff like that, like handling of clouds and water, because things that flow like that, they're hard to draw.
Yeah, definitely. Man, that belt
Yeah,
is cool.
yeah, yeah. And I love this, like the quick sketch that he must have done for it. There's not a whole lot of like extras and stuff in here, which there doesn't have to be. It is what it is, but they have to have a end page here because then you're gonna have the cover and then page one.
Right.
So it's cool that they stuck something in like that. But yeah,
That's
and
cool.
I'm a big texture guy too, and so it's really cool to see like the way that he textured these rocks.
Hmm.
I don't think he uses like sponge or anything like that. I use sponge and burlap and stuff like that all the time to get textures, but
Yeah, I've been using sponges a lot recently, but yeah, I don't think I've ever seen him use one.
yeah. Yeah, well, that's issue 1 of
Yeah.
Do a Powerbomb. Like we could sit here and look at this thing all day, but it's like the entire thing. We'd be here like all day long. Well, as long as I landed on this one here, just to kind of
Man,
take another look at it, this is such a great way
man.
to draw focus again too with this screen tone. Look at that.
And then he drew that shit twice.
Yeah,
And, like,
right. Yep. There was no. I mean, there might have been some like. There was there was no like computer manipulation. I don't think of moving it over. It was literally just drawing it again.
yeah, there's definitely like subtle differences when you look at both of them. It's like, oh, he really did like do this twice.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah, and like the effects of just like doing that, and then Spicer probably did like a color hold or something on it to differentiate it from the line work.
Mm,
That's the trick right there.
yeah,
So good, so good. Well, man, thanks for recommending this one.
yeah, no problem.
I could look at his work all day and pull stuff from it.
Yeah,
And it's really cool to see the two versions, kind of side by side.
yeah, for sure. Yeah,
There's the
I
color
definitely
hold there.
I definitely look at this book, at least the black and white one, all the time. Probably every day, honestly.
Really?
Yeah,
You just got it like next to the desk and pulling it out?
yeah. I actually got it. I won it on his stream like last year, and he did this like sketch Cobra Sun in it.
Oh, hell yeah. That's
Yeah, man.
great.
So that was pretty
That's
cool.
cool, man. Awesome. Well, where can people find you on the internet?
My Instagram, Art of Brunson. My Twitter is I am Brunson. And what else? I'm gonna start going live on YouTube more. So my YouTube account is just Brunson. I think
Okay.
that's it.
Awesome. I'll make links to all that stuff, and go follow them and check the stuff out. I want to check out what you're gonna do when you do your live stuff. I'm gonna start doing some live stuff too. I think
Yeah, man, it's
here
fun.
pretty soon, at least like every other week or something. I'm
Yeah,
very busy. I don't know how people keep on like especially somebody like him keeps on a regular schedule to be able to go live even for an hour. It's already
yeah.
so much going on.
I mean, for me,
But
yeah,
your book, Ghost Man, also can be found at cosmiclionproductions.com, right?
yep,
And you did a backup story in the Frankie Boy Monster. And so if people pick up this, which will be solicited soon at stores, they'll also get your artwork. So yeah, man, keep up the friggin' good work, dude. I can't wait to see where you go with your career and where you're headed and everything. And I'm excited to see what happens. Like just 2 years in doing this, it's you got a long road ahead and a good one. I can
yeah,
already
man.
tell. So
Yeah, thank.
thanks for coming on, dude.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, we'll talk to you later.
All right, see you.
Join my Patreon to see my work before anyone else. Plus, score physical sketchbooks, mini comics, and commissions delivered right to your door. And reading my new books, Something Seems Off and Three-Headed Pigman, as they are made. Go to my website to order original art, commissions, and my books, Lost Angels, Spectral: A Showcase of Fear, Chaotic Neutral, and more. Gray Matter Drip, The Art of Chris Anderson, is available now from Cosmic Lion Productions. Here are the upcoming conventions I'll be at the time of this recording. And don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. It helps spread the word. Thanks.